Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of What Did I Get This Week? This week I don't really have any sort of preamble to give, so I guess we'll just jump right in with our Viz releases. First one here is Phantom Busters Volume 4, and continuing the trend of having very fun looking covers with really nice art, but that's about all I can say. Again, still have not started reading this one. But I am, of course, reading our next pickup, which is One Piece. This is volume 112, and we are now officially into the Elbaf arc with this one. So with this arc, which is obviously still ongoing if you're up to date with the manga, a lot of big picture stuff going on here. We're getting a lot of answers to a lot of the questions and mysteries that have been built up throughout the entire series, which I definitely think makes sense because we're for sure in the end game of the series at this point. But I will say that it also does kind of feel like a bit much. No major complaints or anything, but it does kind of feel like with all of the lore and everything that's being packed into this arc, some of the emotional weight for me is not hitting quite the same as previous arcs. But One Piece, still being One Piece, I'd still consider the whole thing from start to finish a masterpiece. So even with my small gripes here and there, still really enjoying the Elbaf arc, and I'm really interested to see how it ends given the current predicament of the characters involved. And then for our third and final Viz pickup, we've got Volume 3 of The Spoke Rohan Kishibe. So with this volume coming out, we're now up to date with all of our Rohan stories. The coolest thing about getting this series, when we are, in my opinion, is getting more of Araki's modern art in, official releases. Since we are still only about halfway or 2/3 through the English Steel Ball Run release. One thing I did want to point out about this volume is that all of our chapter covers here are in monochrome, even though originally they were color pages. And if you go back to the first two volumes of this series, those ones were in color. So I'm not sure if this was an error on Viz's part, or there's some reason why they're not in color. But I do find it a little odd and a little frustrating. Like, is this a Steel Ball Run, was it volume 3 situation where they just completely forgot to do the color pages? I don't really know, and since this just came out, I haven't really been able to find anybody else talking about it. But yeah, I did check the other volumes, which I obviously have, and they do have the color pages, so a little weird. Not a huge deal breaker, I guess, because I do have the JoJo magazine issues where some of these were published in, so I do have those color pages, technically. But yeah, a little odd. Then moving over to our one and only Kodansha pickup, we've got volume 22 of Four Nights of the Apocalypse. So with this one we continue the second round, I believe, of the tournament, basically before everything goes downhill and chaos ensues, as is the case with pretty much every tournament arc in anime and manga. But yeah, outside of just being a tournament arc, we do get a lot of great character stuff. In this volume, there's a lot of stuff for Gawain and Tristan, who is still going by Tantris at this point. And of course, Percival as well, and his relationship with Diodora. But yeah, this series continues to be super underrated in my opinion. I think Seven Deadly Sins' reputation really took a hit from how bad the anime adaptation was, at least the later seasons. But the adaptation for this series is pretty solid, and the manga itself is really great, I think, and in a lot of ways does surpass the original series. Then I've got one pickup from Yen Press, which is the Adventurer's Bible from Dungeon Meshi, or Delicious in Dungeon. This one I actually picked up at Barnes & Noble when I was at the mall the other day. I'd kind of been keeping my eye on it for a while on Amazon, but it was never in stock or anything. So yeah, I was happy to find it there. Went ahead and picked it up. I haven't actually opened it yet, it's still shrink wrapped, but really looking forward to looking through this, since I really did love the manga. I still got to get around to watching the anime. I know that's obviously going to be great as well, and we do have season 2 on the way. But yeah, I've only read the manga so far. And then rounding out our manga pickups for this haul, we've got the two new Baki volumes for the month, 19 and 20. I believe there's 24 volumes in the first part of Baki, so we're getting really close to the end of the maximum tournament and everything. And then, as I mentioned when I got the previous Baki volumes last month, I believe November is when we'll be getting the start of part 2, so exciting stuff. And we do actually have some figures this time around, only 2, but first up is the Figma Saber 2.0, the re-release version that just came out. This is one I've been really excited for, waiting a while for, and I'm pretty sure this is my first Fate figure. The fact that I'm not 100% sure probably means I have too much stuff, but no, I'm pretty sure this is my first Fate Figma. But yeah, this figure that I've always really wanted, even before I knew what Fate exactly was. I think I first saw this figure used in stop motion videos by a channel called Counter656, one of my favorite channels of all time. I used to rewatch his videos religiously back in the day. But yeah, ever since then I've wanted this figure, although since his videos are pretty old, he was probably using the original Saber Figma, but regardless, same idea. Really excited to have this one in hand, and I do hope that they re-release some of the other Fate Figmas as well, like Lancer and Gilgamesh and, you know, the whole gang. And then our other figure pickup is the Entertainment Earth exclusive glow-in-the-dark Blanca. Obviously this is the Jada Toys Street Fighter line. But yeah, it's like exactly the same as the original Blanca figure, only it is glow-in-the-dark. So not too much to say, but I'll have to definitely let it charge up here and then take some fun pictures when it gets dark out. Definitely more of a, you know, gimmick or novelty type figure than a necessity in the collection, but glow-in-the-dark stuff, I mean, it's just fun, right? And then rounding things out with our CD pickups, continuing the Tatsuro Yamashita collection, we've got Melodies and For You. With both these albums, I don't think I've heard any songs on them. Aside from on Melodies here, we've got Guess I'm Dumb on the track listing, which, you know, if that's the same one that's on Big Wave, then obviously I've heard that. But otherwise, this should all be new to me, which is very exciting. Alright, so that was everything that I picked up over the last 2 weeks. Pretty good assortment of stuff and a good spread of, like, you know, some books, some figures, some CDs. These are the 3 things that I was most excited to get. Next week, video is kind of up in the air. I do have my June AmiAmi order on the way, but I'm not sure if it's going to get here in time for me to be able to put that video together. But I did record the next Big Bad Toy Store haul video, so I might put that one up instead and then delay the AmiAmi one, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks as always for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see ya.